What's up, y'all?
Hey, how you doing?
Good,
All right.
good. We're ready.
How you
We're
doing,
ready.
Marlon?
Good.
All right. How was y'all week?
That's all right.
Good. Just
Yeah,
a long week.
yeah. Especially, me and you, Crystal, we've been going,
Yeah.
researching and calling people. And we're gonna get to that, in a little bit. So let's see. I sent the link to Keisha. Hopefully, she'll get up here. So, yeah. All right, Crystal, you want to start us off with the news channel you contacted on Sunday?
Yeah. So I contacted WK YC3 Cleveland News and WKYC Cleveland News Channel 5 and WKYC Cleveland News 19. And I
Yeah.
spoke to someone named Randy. And the reason for me calling him is because there was a news clip that I saw on YouTube where there was a misleading story concerning the captivity of Laura Cowan. And so immediately when I saw the clip, um, it stated in the clip that she was abducted and held captive, and then her children was held in the garage. And the minute it said her children was held in the garage, I see our sister Lakeisha's picture pop
Mm-hmm.
up there, and then right behind that I see Marlon's picture.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, as it's popping up, it's saying Laura Cowan's children, and their pictures start popping up. So I'm like, what is this? So I know we saw uh we seen the video, and so we seen it before, but what we did was we just well, Crystal actually contacted them. She spoke to two people. I was on the phone for the last two. I think Crystal froze or whatever. Let's see just a second. Screen. See if I can get her back in. Oh, she's gone. So just give us a minute, wait for her to log back in. But like I was saying, we Crystal contacted them and they kept going back and forth with us, Marlon. When trying to like I guess trip us up, whatever. And we were saying that we're not her children.
Right.
And they kept, asking us all these questions and Crystal was breaking it down. She said her internet crashed. She's gonna log back in.
Right. I see.
Yeah, so it and the guy was like, I mean, the first guy, the first guy, I don't know his name. I know the first guy, he was like, asking Crystal all these questions. Uh, and she said, Laura Cowan. And he was like, you mean this name or that name? Like, he didn't know, he didn't understand what she was talking about. So she kept making it clear to him. He was going back and forth and saying, look, we got this information from the DA in, uh, California. It was like, how is that so? Because we spoke to the DA, me, Crystal and Key. We spoke to them because Key and Crystal went out there. I was on the phone,
Right.
so they mentioned that who they spoke with and stuff. They're just giving us a lot of information. But the thing is, that guy probably was lying, and Laura gave them some type of paperwork we don't know. So the long story short, he said he would contact Crystal back, but he didn't. So she spoke to another guy, which I was on the phone again and just listened to her as she was going through it. He was really being kind of combative, a little bit, of trying to trick us up. And what Crystal was trying to say, he basically hung up the phone on her. And that was very rude. I was like, yo, why you hang up the phone? And and Crystal, I don't know what the first, she spoke to somebody else again, a lady. has
Right.
another account, and she was acting like she wanted to know more information. Crystal said she was pretty much, kind of cool, whatever. And she was stating that Laura had showed them some paperwork, whatever. But I don't know if all of them in the news station believed it, but still they ran with this story as if she was held captive, and we know that she wasn't. And it's somebody else we spoke with, but I want to get Crystal back up here so
Right.
she can fully explain everything because she just tagged me in,
Right.
late, and I didn't hear everything. I just heard a little piece. No, actually, first she sent. No, what she did. I'm sorry about that. The one call she sent to me because she recorded the guy. The last one I was on the phone with, and he's the one that hung up the phone. So that's how that went down. So we've been doing a lot of research and calling around and trying to contact these news outlets, uh, podcasters, and everything. So we've been really doing some work a little bit,
Right.
and we got some other stuff in the works that we don't want to talk about right now. I do want to share a conversation we had yesterday with this podcaster, but I want to wait for Crystal to get back up here because she, like I said, she's the captain of the ship. I'm the co-pilot, so I'm kind of letting her go through it because she's really passionate about it. And plus, y'all lived in the house. I didn't. Everything that happened with me was back in Virginia years ago. And so even though it's the same type of situation that y'all went through, I faced the same thing. It's just that y'all went through it longer than I did.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just trying to bring everything together so everybody can see the story from the beginning to the end because I know you have your own individual story, what happened to you,
Right.
what dad did, and everybody. So to put it together and show from because you gotta realize like dad did this for over 20 years, 2 decades. 2 decades and almost three. Okay, here's Crystal.
Okay.
Right. I see. Oh, she back.
Okay. Sorry about that.
You back.
No problem. No problem. I just went through talking about, just a little bit on the guy you spoke with, because I know you recorded that one dude. You sent it to me, two recordings,
Hmm.
but I was on the phone with the last guy when he hung up, and I know you spoke to some lady. So that's basically where I am right now. But you can go forward and
Right.
explain what he actually said to you.
Okay. So he said that Laura told him that we were her kids. And he said, that's a family issue. I said, no, it's not a family issue because we're not
Mhm,
related to her. And so he hung up the phone on me. And when I tried to call back, it went to voicemail. And then I guess
mhm,
he blocked my number. But that shows me right there that he knew, from me giving him the information I gave him, he knew that they should not have been airing those pictures of you and Lakeisha on their news station. And he tried to tell me, no, the second person told me that the DA gave them all the information on us. Then they went back and said that Lori gave them all the information and that they would call us back. Now let me tell you something about WKYC, Cleveland News, all those stations. She's on all of those stations, right? Every
mhm.
time she does a story on all of us, they sit up there and they gobble it up. They don't speak about the other people that it happened to, and we were children, and this woman is an adult, and she's sitting up there just having fun, being reckless, just talking about all of us
Yeah.
like that. And then a comment was made that she didn't mention no names. No, but you mentioned the likeliness of it. And
Yeah.
we know exactly who you're talking about because in California, our case was one of the most notorious child abuse cases. And that's what the headlines read. And so you know exactly who you're talking about. And especially when you put somebody's picture on the news, we know who our siblings are and we know who we are. So it was just a thing that they're in denial about it and that they know they're wrong. And they're trying to figure out, oh, how can they wing their way out of it? And then for 6 months, I've been calling them about different interviews that she's done that's misleading, and they give you their name and their number and ask you for your name and your number and say they're gonna call you back. They don't call you back, and it's been 6 months. They just don't call back, or they'll
Right.
tell you they act like Laura's some type of Jim Jones or something. You know,
And, and
we got to call Laura first.
yeah, and also you say you spoke to a lady as well too, right?
I
Y-
spoke to a lady. Her name was Rita. Monday morning before I went to work, and she told me that it was awful because they didn't know. She said they didn't know with the information that she was giving them because she didn't go into detail about what happened to other people in the home. She just got them caught up. Like, from what she was telling me, is that she was the mother of the home and she had all these kids with this man. And she said, I'll call you back. This was Monday. Today is Friday. This lady still haven't called me back. And I don't expect to get a call back because, like I said, they've been doing this for 6 months. And I haven't seen this stuff on any other news station, but where she lives at in Cleveland, Ohio, just broadcast everywhere on their news station, everywhere, and in their newspapers. Pretty much everybody that she does interviews with, if you go on YouTube and you look at their links, everything is connected to Cleveland, everything. And so, um, I believe if the shoe was on the other foot, she would be complaining. But like I said, she made herself a public figure, and she consistently kept doing this stuff over and over again. We asked her not to talk about us, and she consistently just talk about all of us.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just, it's a mess, but things is coming together like it's supposed to, though.
Yeah. And you said this case was eating you up, and I know you just
Yeah,
you
no.
calling
I was
around.
just saying that I had a private point in my life where, you know, um going the whole transition of going through this entire case, it was kind of like eating me up inside. And the reason why, it's not doing it now, and I thank God for that. But
Right.
it was eating me up inside throughout the whole transition that we was going through, because it was like society don't really look at abuse victims as their own individual. They just bust somebody, and then they just group everybody in, like even the victims, they're predators too. And when that was going on, it was very hard for me to tell on our parents. And I know it was hard for the rest of our sisters and brothers. It was really hard to sit with some detectives and DAs, even to testify in court. It was hard just to sit up on the stand and, testify against your father doing all of this stuff. Because even though I was past a lot of that stuff when the trial happened, still in my mind while I was sitting up there testifying, I kind of gleamed over at him, and I really didn't see any remorse at all. He was just laid back in the chair like he's some big boss and whispering in his attorney's ear. And I was looking for a tear. I was looking for some empathy on me, his daughter, sitting up there speaking, talking about the things he did. Our siblings, our mother sitting up there talking about the things that he did. I didn't see any feelings in him at all. I just saw a cold hearted person sitting there that just didn't care, about what he had did. And then looking at him, it was like, oh, it was okay. It was okay. I did that. His methods, of abuse and all his manipulative tactics and all that stuff. And like I said, it was eating me up because I had to sit there and testify. And then after the fact, you think to yourself, you have guilt, like, was I right for doing that? And then some of the abuse patterns that was in the home, some of that stuff followed me. Like, am I going to be punished because they instilled in us so much about God, Allah, and what was going to happen to us if we went against them? So it was just like, for me, in the beginning, it was like no escaping it. But I figured out through going through counseling and listening to other people's stories, that helped me through it. And then also, not just that, but speaking to a lot of our siblings, after that, things that we all went through that we've discussed and all of that, that there is life after we came up out of that. And so
Yes.
that's what I discovered. So
This
it was
would be.
just a
Mhm.
rough transition. It really was.
It's a good way to put
This
it.
what Big Man said. I don't know. This is what Big Man said. Hold on. He said, "Not for, not for me. I was telling everything." Then what else? He said,
Yeah. I understand what Nikosi is saying, that
"Mhm.
not for him, he was telling everything, but all of us, his 13 of us, all of us are different individuals. But I get what he's saying, how he felt. It's
Yeah,
just that all of us, 13 individuals, everybody has their own brain, everybody thinks differently, and everybody
right,
feels different.
exactly.
That's how I felt.
Yeah,
That's how I felt during the time when it first happened.
I mean,
And
even
I was
mhm.
being asked questions. I was afraid. And I know some of the rest of them, they was afraid too. But I'm just saying, going through that transition of sitting up in a courtroom where there's a courtroom full of people and you're sitting beside a judge, and then you got a big old jury box sitting there, and I'm like jittery sitting there wondering if I get asked the question, how to say it out of my mouth and put it in the right words to describe to the judge and the jury what was going on in the home. And so that's what was tough for me, that those are our parents. We love our parents, you know, and it was just hard just to sit up there after all the things that he did, just to sit up there and talk about him. That was hard for me, because not just that, I have a family, okay? I have a job, I have a life outside that courtroom. I was threatened by the DA. You're going to get a subpoena if you don't come to court. I mean, they subpoenaed me, and when I refused to testify against him, it was like, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah, I was told the same thing. They subpoenaed me out here, and had to go to court, and I was nervous too because I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm in front of the judge, raising my right hand. You got everybody in the courtroom staring at you. Then after he says what he says to me with the subpoena and what could happen, I get escorted by two bailiffs, no, two officers to the side room or whatever. Then they talk to me again about some stuff. I'm like, oh, then I come out, everybody's staring. I'm like,
It's
it was nerve
embarrassing.
wracking. It's embarrassing, nerve wracking, and then also they wanted me to come. Like said, they threatened you with, if you don't come, jail time, whatever. But then they didn't need me uh, a couple of weeks later. So they said they didn't really need me because they had other information on what happened with me, and they had that already. So I didn't go out there because they said that's okay. They called me and everything.
Yeah. And I'm saying, I think it was just embarrassing for all of us. I mean, I'm not the only person, I don't think, that felt that way. It was just embarrassing for all of us. I mean, you're in class and somebody bringing a subpoena to
I
your
was at
classroom.
work. I was at work when they did it, and I had just got the job. I mean, I was there for a while, but I mean, I really just got on full time, right? And I'm working at a university. I think it was Detective Zirkle. He comes in, and
What?
yeah, he came out here because he's the one that interviewed me out here about dad and stuff. Yep. So
Mm.
he came out here, and I was in I'd go into my boss office, and I said this on another video we did. that I was like nervous. I'm like, what's going on? Because they hunt me down. Because they knew I was in Virginia. They just didn't know where I lived at because they didn't have my address.
Right.
I don't know how they got my phone, my cell number, but they kept calling me and I was ignoring it. But I got tricked up because they called me from a number and I answered it. Boom, they got me. And they start asking me all these questions. And the next day, they found me while I was working at. And he came in and
Mm-hmm.
subpoenaed me. I was nervous. He left. I'm like, dang. So I'm working, right? And
Right.
as I'm working, my boss, she comes over later. My boss, she came over. She was like, Richard, you okay? I said, I'm fine. She said, well, you messed up on some things that you usually just breeze through with no problem. And I didn't realize that I was messing up, because it had affected me that much. I'm nervous. Look, I'm just getting good with this job. I gotta probably run to
Who's
California, trying to get back on my feet after certain situations. I'm living with our aunt. So, I'm trying to get this money, so it's like I'm like, yo, but yeah.
you was
Yeah.
subpoenaed? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, he was subpoenaed.
They just didn't need me at the last minute because they had the all the other case information that Dad did to me back in
Yep.
Virginia. They had all of that already because that helped them with the case. So
Yep. Yeah, but I'm just saying all that stuff, that whole transition of going through that stuff, it was just embarrassing for me. And, but after dealing with that situation and then going into that trial, leaving from that trial, and then the aftermath of you having, to live your life and stuff, and then you got family, you trying to shield your own family, you know, away from that stuff. And I'm saying I had to come to grips, and it took a while for me to come to grips about honestly what was going on. Even though I had came up out of the denial and we testified, I still had to come to grips outside of that trial. What I already knew what the childhood life was about growing up, but being a young adult, like what's going to happen in my adult life. So I had to come to grips with that, and it started with, you know, the first step is doing a lot of praying, and then also, going to counseling, sitting at counseling and asking questions like, why did this happen, and what happened to him? Why did he do the things that he did? Those was the questions that I had, because you couldn't ask those questions in the home to neither one of them. Like, why are you doing this? Why do you act like that? Why are you doing this to us? Because we couldn't question our parents in our home. You couldn't question them. If you question them in our home, that was disrespect.
Right.
That was disrespect. And so, like I said, being an adult and coming up out of that, you know, a lot of things still affect you. And I look at my life now, how far I've been down the line, how I've made a life for myself, and done a lot of things in my life. A lot of stuff I've done, I've never thought that I could even accomplish. But just putting myself around the right people, staying positive, staying prayed up, going to counseling, and asking questions, things you don't know, ask about it. We talked about a closed mouth don't get fed.
yeah.
Somebody told me that, and when somebody told me that at the college that I was going to, it really woke me up that, okay, there's something in life that I want, and if I don't go after it, then I'm not going to get paid for it. So I just made up my mind, I wasn't going to be shy about things. I wasn't going to be afraid, about asking questions, and I wasn't going to be intimidated by people. You just sometimes just got to, put yourself out there. And so I've been really successful with maneuvering through life. I mean, it's not like you're going to get everything you
Yeah, but
ask
you
for,
work hard at it,
but
so yeah.
yeah, yep, you're right. And I'm saying,
Right.
I know, all of us, you know, we all work. A lot of us been to school. Some of us got degrees. We've worked really hard at those things, and it took a while. Like I
Mhm.
said, I struggled a little bit. It took a while, but I'm thankful and I'm glad that God got me through, because that's the number one thing in my life that I rely on. And that's something that I always do.
Right.
So, with the steps of, going through counseling, that those are serious steps. And not everybody, this is just me, but not everybody go through counseling, you know. It's sometimes it's just not for that person. Like I said, people got other ways. My counselor was telling me that they cope. I mean, they can probably find a book, and read books, and they cope that way. They can probably go to church and speak to their pastor and tell them how they're feeling, and that'll help. That's therapy right there. Get you through it. Exercising,
Yep.
that's therapy. You know, it's just, it's a lot of coping mechanisms out there to get you through certain things. But I'm not gonna say that, you know this stuff don't still bother me, because it does. It still bothers me. And what bothers me the most out of it is that none of us was given a chance, not one chance. And I'm saying everybody in life deserves a chance. I believe in giving second, third chances, but I'm just like, we haven't been given not one chance at all. And I'm
Mm,
just like, it's been a kind of hard, but like I said, I always turn my mind back to the positive things that's going
Right.
on in life that I can maneuver through and get through.
yeah.
And as of today, I've been in counseling for about 18 years. So, and in counseling, there's different parallels of the life cycle that I went through. And everything I went through, I can tell you, with going through counseling, it worked. It really worked for me, and it's still working. And so that's why, I went to counseling, because I didn't want to be in denial. I didn't want it to affect me. I didn't want it to affect my spouse. I didn't want it to affect my daughter, you know. And during counseling, I learned a lot of things. Like, I had an issue with, like, who cares? So in my head, huh? What'd you say, Marlon?
Oh no.
So in my head, I'm wondering, like, okay, who cares? I had to worry about that. And so my counselor was telling me, why do you care about who cares? You can't worry about who cares.
Mm,
You have to get your life together and worry about yourself and make sure you're healthy mentally and you're happy. Who loves me? I went through that in family. Who loves me in the family? My counselor said, why are you worrying about that? That shouldn't be a worry of yours. I got over that. Um, was it my fault?
yeah. That's
And I'm
that's
pretty
one thing,
sure,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
about something is my fault for certain stuff, or
yep. And I'm
yep.
pretty sure all of us went through that, because I went through it bad. Was it my fault? What could I have done to try to help my sister and brothers out? Um, there was a lot of things that co-inspired in the house of us being vocal and trying to get away from them, but the authorities always sent us back. Every time you look around, they sent us back. And he's to me, in my eyes as a kid, he seemed like he was always the winner and we was the losers, because every time he did something, and it could be kids going to school and somebody see a mark, we didn't say anything. Just teachers being concerned about you having a knot on your head, or a bruise on your back, or something on your face, or if you're eating a certain way, if you're stealing other kids' lunches in school. Teachers got concerns, so they call home to your parents and they ask questions. So it was like the authorities come out to our house to question our parents about it, and each time we was made out to be the fall guys, and he was the winner. And
Right.
so this last time, I think God made it so. Matter of fact, I know God made it so that he's not going to get away, you know, with this. And like I said, he's very treacherous, and he got a treacherous mind, the things that he did and stuff. And so you look at that, am I at fault? Is it my fault? Because he instilled a lot of fault into us. You don't get up for prayer in time. Okay, you're getting in trouble. Everybody's not going to get up for prayer, in time. He couldn't even accept that. The people going to sleep in. He was able to sleep in. If you don't do the Adon right, okay, you're going to get punished. It was every little thing he punished you for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I went through that phase, is it my fault? And then, like I said before, am I wrong for telling on my parents? I went through that. And my counselor said, no, you're not wrong for telling on them at all. You're not wrong at all. Because that stuff we was going through, it was painful. It was hurtful and it was painful. And you look at your parents and look them in the eye and you wonder, what are you thinking? Do you care? Like, why are you doing that consistently over and over and over again? It just was like I said before, we couldn't do no wrong in our house. And anything right we did, it was wrong. And that's why in our home, it was so confusing to us, the difference between right and wrong, because even if you did right, you still wrong. So it was just really confusing. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is who got abused more. There was a pattern going on where there was siblings, and I understand, saying that, oh, I got it more, or this other person that got more. There's no such thing as no type of abuse that, oh, somebody got it more. Abuse is abuse, period.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's just what it is. And I know he had certain things that he did to certain one of us in the home, and certain one of us he did that to. But
Yeah.
abuse,
Tactics. He may do this to that one, and then do this to another one, and then that's how you compete against one another. That's how they came about. Well, I got this done to me, I got that done, so it became even like a competition in a sense. Who got abused the most,
yeah,
like you're saying, which that
yeah,
was part of what he would do.
yeah.
Right.
And so it was just a pattern of that. Who got it more? And I really don't like that, because bottom line is just, abuse is just abuse.
Yeah.
I brought that up too because on the Dr. Phil show, when Dr. Phil did the bullet point of all of us sitting there, and he had Laura look at the screen and he listed everything verbatim on what happened to all of us, and it was a long bullet point list. It was just overwhelming, the bullet point list that he had. And she said, I saw all those things happen to them, and all of those things happened to my son. And so when she said it, I was sitting there and I kind of shook my head and turned the other way, because there's no way possible that all of the things that he bullet point up there happened to your son and that he got it the worst. In my mind, analyzing what she said, for him to be a 5-year-old kid, and she's saying that he got it the worst and he went through all of that stuff, he probably wouldn't even be living right now.
Exactly.
And it's just like an exaggeration. You're making this stuff up, because all of the stuff up there that was on that list that happened to us, that stuff happened long before she came into the picture.
A lot of it.
Long before.
They had stuff up there that happened to me, and people don't realize.
Yes.
Well, listen,
Yes.
yeah.
It started with you first, with them talking about a child missing a limb.
Yep.
How did that happen to your son? Do your son got gashes on his head and on his scalp, his eyebrow, webs on his back? Because me and all of my siblings, we carry those bruises. And I'm just like, you look in the mirror, you got to look at them bruises every day. So it might not be as bad, the trauma that we suffered then, but there's still some trauma there. There's still going to be some trauma there, and you learn how to cope with it. And so that's why, I brought up that issue about, who got it the most. He did this. It don't matter. Abuse is just abuse. I don't care if he hit you one time, it's abuse. And so, I also went through a phase concerning how holding grudges, not how to hold grudges. And so I don't hold grudges, but I was made aware of this in counseling that you hold grudges, them grudges eat you up in the end. So it will age you. Holding grudges, it will age you. It will cause you to be jealous of other people, cause you to have animosity against other people, cause you to be mad at other people for nothing, cause you to look at other people because somebody else might have something you don't have, cause you to blame other people for your issues. There's a lot of things that could happen. It'll make you sick inside. It'll just make you sick. So it's not, when we was talking about on one show concerning forgiveness, it's just that when when it comes to mom and dad, like I was explaining to Michael, is that I'm not there yet. And I'm not, and it's been a long time, but I'm still not there yet. Because like I said, you got to look in the mirror at the bruises. You got to look at this, look at that. And it's just like, man, why did they do that? And so, I believe in forgiveness, but it depends on, okay, what the person did, like
And like,
our mother, I'm
mhm.
really past everything that happened concerning our mother. And my forgiveness for my mother, I've forgiven my mother, but our father, no,
Yeah.
no,
And
not at
Marlon,
all. And
and
like I
Right.
Marlon,
said, huh?
Marlon, I muted your mic because the background. So if you got noise in your background, just mute it every now and then.
Oh, because I got my front door open.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close it. Hold on. I had my front door. I'm gonna close it. Got some errands now. That's why.
So I'm just like, I'm past, that situation right there. But with our dad is different because our dad, he's in total denial. He
Yeah.
believes that he didn't do anything wrong. He believes he's this perfect human being. He believes that his methods of discipline, we deserved it. Matter of fact, he believed he didn't do anything at all because he
Even.
mentioned to the
Mhm.
judge in court, he said that my kids didn't suffer like they say they suffer and that we're all going to be punished. Now, like we were speaking last week, I'm thinking to myself, why would God punish all of us, and we were children having this stuff done to us, and not punish him? Because the last I checked, he's the one in prison doing 82 years,
Exactly.
you know? So, I mean, who looks like a fool?
Okay. The
So
next
I'm
one, he
just
said,
like, just the stuff that come out of his mouth is just, it's horrifying. And then
Yeah.
sometimes people gotta learn to be happy in their life. I learned to, I didn't have anger, but you know, one time I recall having a conversation with Marcus over the phone, and he was telling me like when Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all the major holidays come around. He said he was in the mall one time and he shed a tear. And so I understood what he was saying because I've felt that way, but I'm over it now because you don't get to share um, those things with your parents. Our parents got 36 grandkids, and you don't get to share, your grandkids with your parents. You don't get to share the life you have with your parents. You don't get to go on vacation with your parents. You can't pick up the phone, call them, and talk to them and have them be there, for you. And it's just a lot of milestones and accomplishments that we've all had in our lives that they've missed, you know. And
Right.
I'm not gonna say it don't bother me. Yeah, it bother me, but I know what the situation is, and I've moved on from it.
Right.
I've moved on completely, from it.
yeah, so let's. And then you had like a long list there. And
Uh
Marlon,
huh.
Marlon, say something. You can jump in when you ready if you want to. As Crystal is talking, or if I'm saying something, you can always just you know
Yes.
add to the conversation. Um, I know. not to cut you off, Crystal, because we can go back to some of
Hmm.
that on that list. But Laura said her son was the most abused
Yeah.
uh, in the home. You
Hmm.
know, and we know he wasn't abused at all. And I find that to be crazy. You know how I was talking to you earlier, how even I think yesterday, how the story is just constantly being it's been flipped, and she's her and her kids, it's like they're the abused ones, and they're putting everybody else on the back burner. And I noticed, I looked at the video today, that first video I did with
Hmm.
you, Marlon, when you
Right,
said dad was hitting your toes with the hammer.
right.
She says that
Yeah.
same thing about her son. And if that was the case, how come there's no pictures, no scars, anything that happened to him? But Marlon, you have all of that. So
I know
they're taking, I know it's about her son. She takes what happened to you, Marlon, and puts it on her son.
that happened to me. I remember all that.
Yeah.
I remember. I basically remember everything, all from all those years. So even from the whole trip way to from here, from Virginia to here, when me and Sharon, he had us standing up, basically on the whole trip. We wasn't even sleeping, and
Wow.
he would throw pepper in our eyes. And he used to beat us with like this. He used to beat us on our feet with a hammer on coming on that trip. And
You talking about going to Virginia?
yeah, when we were coming from here, when we were coming to California, it was like that because me and Sharon had to stand up most of the time and hold on to the because he still had that stuff in the van before he ripped all the refrigerator and stuff out the van. It was still in here, so we was
Hmm.
all brought up in with the seats, and
Right.
we had to hold on to like that and stand up and urinate in our clothes with maggots biting at us. And he was good. He had a bag of like that red hot pepper he was throwing in our eyes or alcohol.
Mm.
I remember all that until we had all the way until we got here.
But Laura is saying that dad beat her son with a hammer on his toes, and then there's a producer, a guy who made a play about it, and
Yep.
me and Richard, we've seen the play where they have this guy in the play hitting the child with the hammer on his toes. And that's severe. That's some heavy metal right there to take a hammer, and hit somebody on their toes with it, a 5-year old at that,
Hmm.
you know, and take that story like Richard was saying, because that's what she did. She took what happened to you and said it happened to her son. Like she took what happened to Keisha and said it happened to her.
Yep.
And anything that any of us have went through in that home that we spoke about in those court records that she became aware of, she says it happened to me too.
Yep.
That's something else.
Yeah,
Her story is constantly changing.
it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Do
As
you
far as what
remember being do you
mhm.
remember being her son, Marlon?
Not her son.
You sure you're
Huh?
not her son?
I didn't even have no relationship with that lady. As
Exactly.
far as,
Thank
as
you.
far as I know, only thing I know is that she just kind of just popped up and that was with her. I didn't have no relationship with her or nothing. I don't
Well,
know.
she put on the news that you her son, and Keisha's her daughter.
Yep.
She need to be guided and just told off, open, just told off.
Yep. So,
And she's something else.
like I
She's
said,
something.
she done claimed mom's kids as her kids,
She's something else.
you know? So you're her son and Keisha is her
Sure.
daughter.
Some. Yep. I'm like,
And I
not
only
me.
know of two daughters that she got and one son. So where she got all that from, I don't know. And so that's the thing, about doing research and stuff, is that when you do a lot of research, like I said, I've seen some things that just done really like blown me away, but I done prepared myself that I ain't even blown away by it no more, because I know who the individual is, you know. I know exactly who she is. So I'm
And
just like, it's crazy.
and as far as with Tassalima, if she wanted to herself, like you were saying, just reach out to the DA out there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the DA will tell her nothing happened to her. She's not even a part of this case.
Right.
She's
No.
online saying, "This is my story. Nothing happened to you." It's not her
Oh,
Yeah.
mom's story. It's not her brother or her sister's story. Nothing happened to them. They're not involved in this case whatsoever. And I just want to
Yep.
know, how were they able to just give Lord, like, I know the DEA and them, I'm gonna say it, the crooked ones.
Yeah.
Somehow they put her the face of this case and her children, and nothing happened to them whatsoever. And I don't know how it got in the media like this. It's the
Well,
it's
one
the
of the reasons why, because we had a conversation with somebody else, but I guess we'll get to that later. But just what you said a few minutes ago, one of the reasons why people believe in everything that she's saying, because she's not giving them the full story.
yeah,
She's
she's giving
giving them bits and pieces. Like we stated before, where are the charges that he was charged with rape of her? Where are the charges that he's incarcerated for kidnapping her and holding her captive? Where are, and when did he do it? What was the time and the date like? And what was the place that he abducted her from? Those are all the things. Where are all the pictures? Like she said, he would repeatedly beat her. Where are the pictures of all the bruises?
yeah, I
Because
know.
dad was a heavy handed person, and all of us knew that. I mean, when he hit you, it was brutal. Like I said, because we all have the bruises. Where are the bruises at? I recall asking her on the Dr. Phil show, and they didn't air it. They must have edited it out. But I asked her sitting there, I said, Laura, can you show all of us pictures of you being brutally beat? She said, oh, he made my mouth crooked.
mm,
So I was like, wow. I mean, just to say he made your mouth crooked, I'm looking at her and I'm just like, you got the straightest smile and smirk on your face I ever seen before in anybody in my life. So I'm asking her the questions, show us. And none of us have seen no evidence of none of the abuse that she's been on these podcasts and on these TV shows talking about. None of us have seen it. And I
and they have
didn't see it in the home.
and they haven't seen it either.
No.
So,
Right.
and just because there's articles out there that she has done with certain people, and she's gotten help with, whatever, like with the she may have like a PR person, whatever, that probably helped her with some of this. It doesn't make it true. She's just changing it, saying this happened to me too. That's
Right.
all she's doing.
Right. Right.
Yeah, without any evidence whatsoever. Yeah, she
Right.
lived, said she was in a home for a certain period of time, but nothing happened to her, you know?
Right. And like you said about Taz, she can call. I mean, I wouldn't. First of all, we got two parents. And I would ask questions. That's what I did. I asked questions. I've been doing my own research. And what I would say for Taz is what she needs to do is that she needs to call DA Todd Henry
Mhm.
and ask him about everything that her mother is saying. That's what she need to do her own investigation. She need to ask him about what was her status when she came out of the home. She don't need to listen to her mother. She needs to ask questions, do her own research. And I know it's going to be hard and I know it's going to hurt, but once you find out certain things that she told you that didn't happen, you're going to feel a sense of being free. That's what you're gonna feel a sense of.
All right.
You're gonna feel a sense of that. And then on top of that, you know, like I said, for us, I mean, talking against our parents or even asking the questions and coming to reality about, things that happened. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard for all of us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And whether Taz is watching or not, maybe she'll watch in the future, or maybe she's watching now, you know, one day she's going to have to come with the grips with all the lies that her mother has told us. Because you can't, none of us, if you live a life full of lies, you're going to have to keep living that way, and you're going to just be miserable.
Right.
And I look at her mother, when her mother be talking, like, how do you lie so much? And I'm
Right.
saying, I'm talking about this situation right here. It's like, how do you lie so much? She tells one small lie, and every time I do more research, the lies get bigger.
Yep.
They get bigger. They're outrageous. They're
Helicopters
outrageous.
was
Just like,
everywhere and all this stuff
just
like
tell the
helicopters.
story for what it is and tell what happened.
Yep.
That's all
Right.
you got to do. You don't have to make up stuff that somebody built hanging mechanisms, and you was
She was on
kidnapped.
She was on billboards.
Yeah, and that you was on billboards, but nobody didn't know who you was, and they couldn't figure out who you was because you had a veil on your face. She never wore a veil. So I was just like, wow, that's unbelievable. I'm just like, Taz has been through a lot of lying that her mother has done to her, manipulating, brainwashing, and gaslighting. That's what she's been through, a lot of that. And she's lied. She needs to tell her daughter the truth about how she met our father. That's what she needs to do first. She needs to tell the truth about how she met our father. That's what she needs to do. And she needs to tell her daughter about her part in the abuse in our home.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
telling her. Do
Exactly.
your own research. And I ain't telling you to pick any sides or anything, because it's obvious, because you ain't picked our side. And I could really
That,
care less
the
because the
picture in
damage
the
is
back.
already done.
Yeah.
I'm
The
just
picture
saying
in the
for your
backdrop.
self.
Yeah. The picture in the backdrop. She looked healthy to me. That's
Yeah.
dad holding her. Actually, he's sitting on the bed, but I, shot the last.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. Taz is not. I'm pretty sure that Taz is got good common sense, and she's not a person that don't got good common sense. Okay, like you
Yeah.
said, you can look at pictures, and pictures can tell a lot about
Yep.
somebody. They can tell a lot. Pictures can tell if you're happy, if you're sad. Pictures can tell if you ate enough, that day. Pictures can tell if you're depressed. There's a lot of things in pictures that you can look at. And I'm just saying, looking at this background, like you just said, this is an 8-month-old kid weighing 29 to 31 pounds. And we had brothers who were 8 years old weighing 31, 32 pounds. So people out there need to ask themselves that question. How could a girl her age in that picture grow up and say that she was abused and that she was malnutrition and that she went through all the trauma that her mother told her that she went through? But yet, when you look at the child percentile chart, she was over the size that she was supposed to be, which is nothing wrong with that, because she just was a healthy kid. But then you got to look at your two twin brothers, Nikosi and Chikosi, 8, 9 years old, weighing 30, 31, 32 pounds. And you're
39.
almost the same weight as them. They're 8, 9 years old, and you're an 8-month-old. You got to do a lot of comparison and figure that out. You got to figure that out on your own. I'm just putting it out there. letting you know that, sometimes it takes that doing your own research.
Mhm.
Kids want to believe their parents. Kids want to trust their parents. Kids love their parents, and there's nothing wrong with that. But parents do make mistakes, and I'm saying the mistake that happened to all of us, it was horrific. And I'm saying now we're out there trying to figure out, okay, what happened?
Right.
What happened?
Like,
What really happened? So I'm just telling her just to look outside the box, you know. And it's okay because sometimes you can look outside the box and sometimes you could be wrong. But I'm saying in this case, we're not wrong.
Nope.
We're not wrong. And her mother said it on the show. She said they are so wrong. That's
Yeah,
what she
she
said.
did on Dr. Phil. She said they're wrong. They're wrong, Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just said they just, were so wrong.
So Marlon,
yes.
you ran away like 20 times?
It was about 11 times.
About
The first
11.
time I ran away,
I
we
recall 20.
that's,
You
that's
recall 20.
I
before we was
recall 20. Let me
before
tell
we
you
was living
though one.
on
Hey,
Great.
let me
before we
refresh your
was living on
memory.
Kincaid Street. We was staying with somebody out there that was Canadian. This lady that named Mary that knew the other two people he was living with when we first went to Bakersfield. I ran
Mm.
away there, and when we moved on the street, Kincaid Street.
Marlon, let me
um,
refresh your
Kincaid Street.
memory. And we moved a lot. I recall you running away about 20, 25 times.
I said only about 11. Maybe probably could have been that. It wasn't that. It's only about 11 times.
You
Yep,
you sure, Marlon?
I recall you running
I
away
remember.
a lot. And it's okay. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, because it seemed like it was all the time. Every time dad wasn't looking, you took out running. Remember the time you jumped off that balcony?
Yes, I was gone for about maybe a day or two.
Yeah. And you got caught up at Kmart?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What happened at Kmart? I heard that was
Yeah.
very interesting. I want to know what happened at Kmart.
Wow.
Somebody
Now that was
somebody
a
happened
journey right there.
somebody happened to see me and called the police and they contacted my dad and
Did you hide out from security?
no, I know I know where I was just walking around in the middle of the night. I was just walking
Yeah,
around.
because he was locked in the store.
Okay.
He was in the store that night. He was hiding out in the store, and security saw him the next day. He said the police handcuffed him and
No,
called
they didn't.
dad.
I was never handcuffed him. I wasn't in no store. Actually, I was just in the parking lot. Somebody saw me and asked that I needed some help and let me sleep in the back of the car. I said,
Yeah, because I recall when you ran away that time. It might have been another time, but I recall when you ran away that time when the police came to our house to do the missing child's report. They asked mom and dad for a picture. So mom and dad gave them a picture of you. And so the officer said, he's a little fella. That's what he said. And then dad started coming up with all types of stuff that, yeah, he's little because he won't eat his food. And the reason why he's short is because all of this is dad excuse for everybody being malnutrition and short. He
"See,
would blame it on mom's side of the family that they short people. That's what he would do.
actually, you know what? They should
He
have just
said
known that.
then he said Marlo wouldn't eat his food. He said Marlo, you can put a big old plate of macaroni and cheese in front of your face and some fried chicken and something to drink. And he said you would look at the plate and take off running, but then you'll come back for dessert.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Look, he's smiling. He knows. He know. But I
No.
recall the time you ran away, and when the police came to the house, and they told mom and dad that you was down at the police station, and for them to follow, um, the police to the police station, and mom didn't go, but dad went, and dad had tears in his eyes because he
They knew
said
how to
you was
Dad's
call
the
me
best.
crying.
different.
He said
They
you was
knew how
the
to call me
best
different.
son
It was a
in
good
the
friend.
world.
Deal was very
Huh?
well. He was good at doing that.
He
He
said
was
you was
very
the
good at
best.
putting my foot.
He said you was the best son in the world. And the officer took some tissues out and gave him some tissues. He was like, "Thank you, officer." And he was up there wiping his eyes. He said, "Because I'm telling you, that Marlo, he's the best son in the world." The
Whatever.
best son in the world. And then he said when he got down to the police station, you jumped on him and
Yeah,
gave him a big old hug.
I don't do stuff like that. No, I didn't.
Huh? What
No,
happened when
I
he came to the
didn't.
police station?
No, I didn't. I know the police had got me and they came down there. That's as far as I mean. I was in Desert Hot Springs. I know that. And I was in front of the paper. That was about it. But
Because the
yeah.
police told mom and dad you went through a ton of packs of cookies, Cheetos. They said
They said you was camping out.
he was having a ball. I don't blame you. I would have been having the
No,
party
I
too.
know. You was
I would have
like,
been having a ball.
you
The
trying to get away
police
from
told mom
dad.
and dad. The police told mom and dad you ate some ding dongs. You
I
ate
was
some
probably,
Twinkies. You ate Twinkies. You ate Butterfingers, Snickers, Pepsi, Coke. You had some Cheetos
You
and
had
some
some cereal.
cheeses.
You
They
had
said
some cereal.
They said you got a gallon of
They say you had
got a
frosted.
gallon of milk and some Tony
You
the
had some
Tiger,
Tony
your
the Tiger.
favorite,
Yeah.
and was eating
yeah,
that. And you found
yeah.
you some pajamas. The security guard said it was a trail. That's how he knew where you was at, and they saw you on the camera, and you was inside of a tent sleep.
I was just walking by the parking lot. They didn't find me in no tent. I was walking
That's what
past
the
the parking
security
lot.
guard told dad. And
And he
dad
said
was
they
like,
took
"You
me
get."
to
Dad was
police.
telling the security guard. See the way dad was doing it. Dad was telling the security guard that you was a mischievous, envious person, and you get into a lot of stuff. That's why he had to
Yeah,
take you out of school.
and we lived on we lived on Blaine Street, and we lived there. Funny, we lived it kind of weird on that street because the way we slept in the front room, we had to be up playing like that, and Dad was hiding the food most of the time. Was hiding a lot of the food, so we
Mm.
wasn't really eating maybe about a meal a day. Maybe most time maybe a meal a day most of the time.
Look,
Wasn't
this was 2-story. We lived upstairs,
yeah.
and I'm telling you, Marlon jumped, and I didn't even think he survived, but he jumped, and when we looked over, he was gone. He
Yeah.
was gone like the Flash.
Oh, he
Like
getting out of that house.
just like that. He was gone. I was like, what the? I was like, he was gone.
So on your ride to Virginia, I heard they had you tied up, Marlon, because they thought you were going to run away. And so
I don't. I don't. When was that?
coming
When we
to
was going
Virginia.
to Virginia.
I don't remember. I know they used to. I know my dad used to tie me up at nighttime at the motels when we lived in the Motel 8 in Riverside. Daddy used to tie me up at nighttime.
Yeah, he had a
I
lot of
remember that.
methods. I know going to Virginia, he was tied up because dad didn't want him running away. And then I know when we got out to go to the rest stop, he had to go with us girls to the bathroom because he told mom to watch him. He didn't want him going with the other boys. And then, like he said at the hotel, he tied up him and Sharon. That's why we didn't have shoes. But
Yeah.
Marlon didn't care.
My
Marlon was
dad.
out there walking on the hot asphalt.
Yeah. No, I remember that time being time hotel because he had our clothes and stuff, and he would
Yeah.
hide our pants. Would hide our pants from us.
He had what?
He would hide our clothes from us.
You said
So
your pants.
they would hide our clothes and stuff somewhere underneath the drawer. Well, how would he had Keisha doing it? How they would tell her to hide the clothes, so we had to lay in bed naked and wait for them to untie
Mm-hmm.
us at the restroom. Wait for them to untie us to get to the restroom.
He did the
That's
same thing to
how that
me.
was.
He did the
That's
same.
how it was. And at that time when he did that, my arm was still fractured because that was the second time I think he had fractured my arm. My arm was still messed up around that time. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did the same thing to me when we were in North Carolina. He would tie me up to the bed. Yeah, he would tie one arm here on the post on the arm here and one foot on that post, like stretched out like this. Yeah. Yep.
Oh
That's
my
that's how
goodness.
that's how he would do. How he would do me when I was there. He would do that. The other time we was at a hotel room, he wanted to try to see if he could try to see if he could try to hang me because he, I guess, trying to say was stealing for whatever. Now I trying to accuse, basically trying to put the fact that he was starving us on me,
Wait, say
malnutrition.
that
Like
again.
trying to put the fact that I was so small on me, like it was my fault that I won't get enough sunlight. No, that was you. So they put us. He was gonna put us into the. He put me in that there, and they tried to like tie something around my neck to try to hang me in a bathroom. I mean, it was stupid because he
He
was
made
blaming
a
he was blaming he
wait,
was
wait,
blaming
wait.
me he was blaming me for what he was doing. I was getting blamed for what he was doing. I was getting blamed because I was small. The fact that I was bulimic for 8 years, that wasn't my fault. The fault that I became bulimic for 8 years and had to survive that, that wasn't my fault. I was messed up.
Well, we know it wasn't
Oh,
your
I
fault.
was thrown up in the mouth is bulimic. I mean, won't literally thrown up in the mouth. That's bulimic because the doctors would tell you because he would throw up in the mouth, you lose weight because the acid. And they say, yeah, he's still doing it because when I would go to the doctor, they would say the acid eating at his teeth. He's still doing that.
It was your esophagus.
Yeah. So I
The
survived
esophagus. They can
all
tell.
that abuse. All that abuse, I lost a lot of weight because I was bulimic for 8 years, and I
And then he
survived
tried
all
to
that.
hang you.
Yeah, he got to put a lot of stunts. It's like they used
What
to put
type of
that
stunts?
downtown, like they used to put that turban around me too. Remember, I used to wear it because I used to wear no pants. They used to like every time me wear that turban around my waist and saying like I was wearing a skirt.
What happened to him hanging you?
Huh? Oh, that was
What
like one.
happened?
That didn't happen. I guess he would just
No, I know it didn't, but I'm
pull,
trying to.
pull,
I'm
pull
trying
him
to.
around, but he had like I feel like he had some type of rope or something made like that, like some type of rope or a cord or something. I don't know. I think that's what it was. Because I know you know how he had all that stuff with that turban, he had all them different things, and that's what he was trying to pull it. You
You said
know,
he was playing around with you.
yeah. You know, he played around me a lot, trying to have me lifting weights. Sometimes he would say, "Oh, you mean this day?" You don't remember he would say like, "Oh, you mean to tell me your little brother can lift a weight and you can't lift that weight?" But
What
you
little
don't
brother?
start, you don't starve somebody for days. You don't starve somebody for days and have them stand up in the corner expecting them to have super strength to be able to lift
Right.
50 pounds at their side. I mean, I was only weighing about only like I said because before he was arrested, I was only weighing anywhere between 53 to 54 pounds, and I gained 64 pounds that last time I was committed in the desert. That's when he was arrested when I gained head to 64 pounds. When they came back to do the physicals on us all, I had got to 75 pounds. That's only because he was already in jail. But the less I weighed was 39 pounds. When I got straight down to 39 pounds because he starved me for a week. He starved me for all that
Mm.
whole week. Then they took me out of college and went ahead and eat all these two fish and crackers. Then he told my mom to go in and make some heavy ass potatoes to throw in my stomach and I couldn't eat it. So I threw up.
You said make some heavy potatoes.
He the one was telling her to do all that whispering stuff. Whispering because he feared if he going to do that and go and make the potatoes it was heavy, he would gain weight real fast. I mean, you
But it
don't
didn't
just
make you
gain weight.
gain. It didn't
You don't
make you
just gain
gain
weight that
weight.
quickly. Especially not getting no sunlight. No sunlight, not even be able to work out, vitamins. You can't just force feed somebody and expect them to gain weight real fast. I mean, I got down to 39 pounds. I nearly died. I was probably in the way. I was probably dead.
Mm.
If
And
I
what
kept
happened
doing
to the
this,
weight? The weight he had you lifting.
it's a 50-pound weight. Those weights he had, those silver weights he had. Those
Yeah,
great weights he had.
I remember.
No, yeah, he used to have me stand up in the corner with both of them in my hands, holding
Yeah,
both of
because you
them.
got that knot on you. You got that knot. You got that knot right there. Bring your face
Yeah,
in closer.
yeah, that
Bring your
is. That's
face.
been there for years. That never going nowhere. That'll
Yeah,
never
you
go
got
nowhere.
that knot right there. Yeah. Where'd you get that knot from?
You know, I hit myself in the head. Remember back in Desert Hot Springs when I
Oh
first was committed.
yeah.
When I was
Yeah,
committed to the
you
charter hospital when I
did.
was 17. When I committed to the charter hospital when I was 17.
Turn your head on the side. What'd you put on your head right there?
What?
Turn it all the way to the side.
What about it?
You and Marcus head favor on the side. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, Marlon, we been through the trenches, Marlon, and made it out. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Been through, been through the trenches and made it out, Marlon. And you ain't
I
got
heard
nothing but
I
who do
heard
you
that
got to
dad.
thank for it, Marlon? Marlon, Marlon.
Hey, I
Who do
say
you got
God,
to thank for it?
God, God.
Yep. And that's a
Honestly,
good
I
thing.
think. I
Always,
know what.
always
Honestly,
have
you
a
know what? I only thank God because I think everybody that ever encountered my dad was stupid. Every
for
cop,
what? Say I
every
can't hear
I
you.
believe that every cop and every social worker, all that ever came out, it was just too stupid to notice that. Because it was a lot of times social workers and cops came out there. You saw some teenagers that small and didn't think to ask them. They smell. They had a bad smell on them. It looked like they was probably dead. I think everybody was just stupid. So I only thank God for that, for being set free from that. Wow, all those people were dumb.
Yeah, because Laura said on the podcast, she said none of us ain't free. On Murder Unsubscribe on YouTube, episode 38, she said all of us is still twisted in the head and we ain't free and we'll never be free.
That's something.
Ain't
Yeah,
that
she did
something?
say that.
She said they're
She
not
said they
even free.
she said he still has a hold on them and they'll never be free. That's exactly what she said.
When I tell you this lady lie, she don't
That
care
whole
about lying.
that there. That's only because of being locked down for all the years, 20 years. That's what that is. But we're free. He ain't got no hold on us no more. We're free. That's probably just from being locked away and stuff for so long. That's about it.
But Marlon, what I'm saying is that what she said this about 6 months ago. She said they're not free. She
Because
said he still got a
I
hold
didn't
on
see that.
them and they'll never be free. That's
She
what she
said it like
said.
that. She said it just
stating,
like that.
hold on. She's stating
That's what she
because she
said.
said,
Listen
I
to
ain't
yeah,
Rick.
seen
she said that we still go see dad and he still has a hold on us and we'll never be free.
it. I don't know,
She
seeing.
said she said you was up there visiting dad.
Yep.
She said you was up there visiting dad, fist bumping them.
Mm-mm.
She said you was up there like this. What's up, pops?
Crystal Pointy.
Mm-mm.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the
That's I
it's
mean, she did
funny
say
because the stuff that
she
she said, I'm
is
telling you,
ridiculous.
this
Yeah.
the stuff that she say out of her mouth, it's like, where the heck you get this stuff from? Marlon was up at the prison saying, "What's up, pops? This pump, this pumping dad."
I've never even been there. I've never even been there.
I'm like,
No.
what in the world? And she said, "You ain't free, and you will never be free."
I
That's
don't know that.
That's
some
what she
evil stuff
said.
to say.
She said, "You ain't free, and never will be free."
So I heard I heard that uh dad started padlocking the doors. And I know this is not to blame you, Marlon, but because you were running away a lot, so dad started putting padlocks on the doors and stuff at the last home.
Yes, he was putting the chains on the doors. He lived on Hemet. He had a big lock on the door in Hemet, so nobody could get out. He was doing that in Hemet, Desert Hot Springs, and up in Lawanga.
Yeah, but I heard up there that house, that's when it really got kind of with more locks and things. But
Because nobody,
of course, but
I, I
mm,
I ran away one time, but he got me, drove me
mhm.
back to the
But
house.
let me make this clear. When I say that he was putting locks on things, Laura didn't have a lock nowhere in her area. It was just
Um,
upon y'all refrigerator that there was food for y'all, and y'all were locked in rooms and stuff. I just want to make that clear when I say that, when I say locked, because I don't want people that see this thinking I'm talking about Laura, because she has nothing to do with this case. Yeah.
Nope,
yeah,
that's true what
there
you
was
just said, and I'm said she did not have any locks on no door, and she was not padlocked in no room. She didn't have no locks on no refrigerator. She
Yep.
was able to come whenever she wanted to and leave when she wanted to. And that crap that she's talking, that he waited 6 months and then started doing things to her, she's lying about that. She's lying.
right.
She's lying. Him and her was doing too much stuff in the
Right.
home, both of them. They was
Right.
like they was like after each other. Like
Right.
first they was so in love, and then after that they was after each other on who was gonna call the police on who first.
Right.
That's just what it was. He was
That,
yelling, "I'm gonna call the police on you." He told her. He said, "Salima," because when the police came up to the house on Chola, that's in that interview where she said that she found a picture of some of the kids and she wrote on the back of it "help" and threw it over a fence. When the police came up there at that time, dad was really mad. And he said when the police left, they came and talked to all of us because they interviewed me, Keisha, and Tiffany. And our interviews is in that police report we got. And dad said, Salima, he said, I know you did that. And she said, I didn't do it, Musa. She said, your kid's trying to set me up. That's what she said. She didn't say mom. She said, your kids trying to set me up. And dad got mad at me and Tiffany, us two, nobody else. He came in there on me and Tiffany, and we got in trouble for what she did. Until today, that trouble that me and Tiffany got in, where we got beat up by a grown man with his fist, and we was bloody, and she knew she did that. She stated it on that podcast that she threw that letter and those pictures over that gate.
Yeah, she sure did.
And that's what we got in trouble for in the home because of what she did. And it was horrible. It was horrible because she swore up and down to dad that she didn't do it, that your kids trying to set me up. She came in that house with a dislike for all of us. Like she said in the video, I went in with my eyes wide open. And when she came in there, all the kids was a target to her when she came in our home because she most certainly, the stuff she portraying in that movie that they put out, she's lying. She was never loving, caring to us. She was mean. She was very wicked. Very
Mm.
wicked. I'm telling you. She was not nice to us at all. Not an inkling of any niceness ever came from her in that home.
and my battery's running low.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just like,
if Mark, if you're a badge runner, you can plug up your phone. If not, I mean, you can. It's up to you if you want to, go. It's all good. But like Crystal, far as like with the system, I know we
Mm-hmm.
talked about this week how the system is when it comes to like you said, it feel like if you like Marlon, he was constantly running away, and the police was bringing him back. So it's almost like did the system care about the children? Because it's like, why would they keep giving, coming out there knowing that this is going on? And it's like right in front of them. It's like the system is messed up. It's like you said, they tell you to tell somebody. Then when you tell somebody, they give you right back to give you right back to the
Yeah,
person that's doing
because
the abuse.
yeah, yeah, because you heard what Marlon just said. Every time Marlon ran away, I mean, the police brought him back, and like he said, to him, there was some stupid cops and social workers that
Mhm.
encountered us, because anybody that can see a child that age and they that small and they just believed everything dad said.
Mm.
They just believed everything that he said out of his mouth. And they gave us back each time. Like I said, Marlon wasn't the only one reporting that. Yeah, him and Sharon was running away from home, but there were some things that happened to Marcus and Keisha. He was being reported. Me and Tiffany, uh, Michael and Curtis, the twins, Marva and Christopher. There was things that was happening to all of us that wasn't normal, and people saw it and they was reporting it. And when they was reporting it, the first thing he would do is look you in the eyes like I'm your daddy, and you don't tell on your daddy, cause God gonna get you.
Mm.
I'm gonna give you some ice cream. I'm gonna give you some candy. I'm gonna give you whatever you want, but you don't tell on your daddy. And so all of us was in fear because of things that he did. And then mom, she just aided in the stuff that he was doing against her children. Why she was doing it, I don't know, but I'm just like, I got an idea, but I'm not in her head. She could probably speak about that on her own. But I'm just like, that's just how he was. And society, you know, they have painted a picture of all of us in court records. The DA and Detective Zirkle have been on TV shows and they've talked against us, not for us. They went on TV shows saying that, oh, well, we came into the home and they wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Why would we say anything? You just sat on an hour-long documentary and you told a whole story about all the abuse. We were children. Why wouldn't we tell?
Scared.
Why
I mean,
wouldn't
because
we tell?
that was beating
Beating the
everybody, all
crap.
types of stuff.
Yeah.
Like we said, when he got arrested, he got out the
He
next
got
day and went
out.
right back to the same thing.
He
And this is
got
what they
out.
and that's the crazy. That's what they don't tell people. They act like dad just got arrested and that was it. That's
No, he was arrested and mom went and bailed him out. The very next day before the sunlight came up, he was out. And he went right back to the sun. He was locked up for everything that he was doing. And when mom bailed him out, he went back when he got out and started abusing us more.
so that's why
That's
y'all
what
was
he
quiet. That's
started
why y'all
doing.
didn't say anything.
What kept him in the last time that he went back in is that when mom went to go bail him out the second time, he went and he threatened everybody. And when he did it, the Bells bombing overheard him and they recorded it. And so they told him, don't call there no more to get it, receive any three-way calls from your family because that was wrong what you said. And he said some horrific stuff out of his mouth. And I'm just going to tell you, sitting here, because I want the audience and everybody to know, because we're on a live podcast, he has not learned his lesson at all. He will
Yeah.
do whatever he can. He's still figuring out in his twisted head how to hurt all 13 of us. Them
He's doing it
women,
right
he
now.
ain't thinking about them. He ain't thinking about them. He got so much love for our mother in his head, and he treated her like crap. And that's all he thinking about in his head is that's my wife. And she is his wife because they still married. So, you know, she still is his wife. So, but he's right about that. She still
Yeah.
is his wife. But I'm saying he don't blame our mother. He don't blame Adrian. He don't blame Laura. He don't blame no adult. He blames all 13 of his children. And his words is he gonna handle us when he get out. He
Yep.
gonna get us.
Everything's gonna be revealed.
Look, if it wasn't revealed 20 years
25,
ago,
yeah,
he ain't gonna be revealed now. Partner, they got 17 boxes of stuff, a trail
on
of
him.
stuff that he's done. So I'm like, good luck with that. You know, you talking about delusional? Now that's delusional right there. But I believe it's all a facade that he's faking all of that stuff. Because I've seen the tears, one teardrop come down. I've seen him make us feel bad in the home. I try to be the best dad that I can be, but for some reason, it's something in me that won't help me to stop. And the teardrops coming down his eyes and all of that stuff. Then he go outside, smoke a cigarette, come back in the house, and he a different person. So I'm just like, I've seen all. I sat in court and I watched Marlon on the stand, and all Dad kept doing is turning around, looking like this, looking. And he was sitting in court. He was sitting in court. He got in trouble one time. He was sitting in court. He leaned back in his chair. He did his hand like this and balled his fists up and was doing like this,
What?
twisting his hand. And the judge saw him. He was like, Mr. Muhammad, he said, whatever you doing, the gestures you making, he said, you better stop. He said, I'm not doing nothing, Your Honor, and took his hands out like that. He did all types of stuff in court that shocked me that the judge didn't remove him out of the courtroom. He was making all type of fake. Like when I got up on the stand, he was up there smiling. He was all big smiles and all of that. And he was sitting leaning forward like this, smiling, and he was drawing on his paper and all that stuff. And I was just like, I turned right the other way. See, that was the charming person sitting there.
He got some split
He
personality.
got different traits, like Jekyll and Hyde.
He got too
He
many
got
stuff
different
on the
traits.
side of
He
him.
was sitting there real charming because he thought I was gonna sit there and take up for him. Keisha, she get up there, he's smiling and all of that. And then all of a sudden he turned into this mean person. So I'm just like, I'm just like, I don't know, like I said, how the judge allowed him. They gave him so many chances in the courtroom. It shocked me. It shocks me how the system gives them all of these chances, these people that commit these crimes, and they do stuff over and over and over and over again. They don't stop. And I'm saying he did it right in front of their face, and then he would say, I'm not doing nothing, Your Honor. A couple of times I will say this, they did send him out, but let him come right back in. And the judge will ask, you gonna act right, Mr. Muhammad? Yeah. You're not gonna mean mug your family? No, no, sir. I'm not gonna do that. You gonna sit there and behave? Falling out in tears, putting his head down like this, putting his head down, falling out in tears, all types of stuff. I'm telling you, I seen it. I was shocked. Even being on the stand, they'll try to trick you up. They tried to trick me up sitting up there because I wrote a letter to him because I told him the last time we went and saw him, he said he had telescopes, right?
Yeah, you told me
Me
about
and
that. Yeah.
Sharon. He said if he had some telescopes and he could see us coming, we way downtown Riverside. Okay, I mean when I say way downtown, he couldn't see us. He was making that up. Thompson, they gave him a telescope so he can watch us. And I was like, that's weird. That is weird. Some telescopes to watch us, and it creeped me out, you
Mm,
know. But what shocked me is that he said it, and then when we got up there, he was mad because we was a little late coming to his visit, and he was telling us to hurry up and get out of there and get on the bus because I can see you guys when you walk out through your telescopes and go put your hijabs back on. I was like, we're not putting that stuff back on. He got mad. So I was like, okay, Dad, I'm not coming to see you no more because you really acting out. And so he was like, I'm gonna get you, Crystal. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And the sheriff saw him, and they said you ain't getting no visits for 3 weeks. So I left. I'm like, I told Keisha I'm not going back to see him because I was like, the thing is, he think he got all of us. So I wrote him a letter, and the letter I wrote, his attorney took a sentence that I wrote and told him in a sentence that all of that stuff you did do to us, and that none of us ain't sat back and said anything. And I told him, I said, when I testify, I will be telling it all because the way you treat all of us and you still treat us that way. His attorney, Mr. Morales, twisted my words and said that I threatened Dad and told him he was gonna get it. I was like, get it? He told us every day he told us we was gonna get it. And we got it every day. So I was just like, you gotta be kidding me, sitting up there. But like I
mm.
said, our dad pulled some stunts. Some stunts.
I
Some
believe you. I
stunts.
believe you.
You
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
So, so I know as we talk, you were saying when Laura came into the home, things got worse, and things just escalated because she was constantly telling Dad on y'all if y'all went to like went in her room and stole something out of her refrigerator. She was saying that y'all was eating her food, whatever that was going on. It escalated to more beatings and everything. Even though he was already abusing you, but with her there, it just seemed to be more beatings and more like with her. Then she was recording everything. So
Yeah. I think she recorded everything because she felt like, oh, if I got some recordings, then he's gonna get in trouble. He's doing it. But he was doing some of those things because she was telling him
hmm
stuff on us. And this was repeatedly. I'm not gonna say that, okay, here we are in January. It was every single day. If it wasn't stealing food, it was telling, like Mike said, they making too much noise in the room, and I can't sleep, Musa. You can hear them in the room over. They making a lot of noise. Or either you can hear them walking upstairs. They're making a lot of noise up there. Or
mm,
it was either they need to take a bath or they didn't do the laundry. Come home. Look, mom was doing her laundry for her. Okay. She would put all her clothes in the laundry. And mom not just was washing dad's clothes and our clothes, mom was doing her laundry for her. And mom would take her laundry, put it in a laundry basket, and put it by her door. Mom would clean her room up for her, all them soiled diapers of the babies that was documented in the court records of how she lived in filth. She was just a nasty person. She didn't clean up. She would change her kids' diapers and throw it in the corner. That's what she would do. She would take wet clothes of her kids, throw it in the corner. That's what she would do. Dad said she was just a nasty person. She was nasty. And he was clean.
and she mentioned you said I think it was the podcast. She mentioned I think I saw it too that the kids will wait till Musa went to sleep to go and sneak food, and she knew
That's
that.
true.
She knew
That's
that, and she
true.
would go and tell.
Yeah. She told it on the
So
podcast.
yeah,
And like Mike said on Dr. Phil's show, we were stealing food out your refrigerator, Laura, because you would go tell our dad on us. We would wait until he go to sleep and sneak in your refrigerator, and you
mm-hmm.
would go tell on us.
Y'all would get punished. Yeah,
That's exactly how it happened. But what I don't like is how she's lied to people. A lot of people, I mean, they're at fault too. I blame some of the stuff on them. But I don't like how she's lied to people and she's not telling the full story on actually, what happened. She's telling it in a way to make sure she remove herself out of the mix. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
she's doing. She's making sure, oh, I'm not a part of this at all. Even though I went in there with my eyes wide open and I accepted it and I wanted it to work, I'm gonna make sure that he goes down and I don't go down.
Yeah, but like you said, they were constantly telling on one another. Police was always at the home.
Heck yeah, the police.
So if
Look,
you would see, she
the
was, yeah.
police was already coming to our house a lot, but it got worse when we met her. It got worse. It got worse. It was like every month, like at least 5, 6 times, the police was coming out. It got worse. The abuse got worse. The police coming out to the house got worse. All of that. And then she gonna say, I got them help and they didn't even tell. In another podcast, she said, I got them help and they didn't even tell what was going on. Yeah, we did tell what was going on, but our father got out of it and you got out of it too.
And see, she
Because we
don't tell that
told,
part.
it's
She
in the
don't tell that
police
part.
report. We
Yeah.
told, me, Keisha, and Tiffany told what she did to her son. We
See the
told.
thing. See the thing is, she just wanted y'all to tell what Dad did. She didn't want to. She didn't want to be implicated in everything. But y'all told. But at the same time, they did. They didn't want to hear from. They want to hear all that. It was so much after Dad.
Mm-hmm. My counselor told me last week, she said just because Laura ain't got busted, she said that don't mean she didn't get away with anything. That don't mean she got away.
Hmm.
Just because she didn't get busted. She said just because they got busted, that don't mean she got away.
Yeah.
And I
And
believe it too.
hmm
I believe it
and
because she's out there telling all types of stories. I don't know if she look at herself or go back and look at all the stuff that she's talking about, but her story changes.
constantly.
And
If you
I'm
just
like we're looking at it. That's why I said you got to sit and really pay attention to stuff like you're watching a movie. Like in the beginning when this stuff was happening, people are saying that we didn't say anything. Yeah, we did. We didn't want to say too much about it because we knew she was lying. But when she was taking digs at our siblings, like with the name calling people roaches, pigs, dogs, and dummies, and then she said some vicious stuff about when the police. No, her daughter said it when the police came out to the house. We ran like bloody. We ran like sharks in a bloody tank. I was like, that's evil. Then she said some other crazy stuff about to Marcus that you ran your ass somewhere because your dad was gonna kill you. He was
yeah
hunting you down. He was gonna kill you. Then she said some stuff about Keisha, bringing up some sexual abuse against Keisha online. Online, she's saying this stuff. She went after we got off the Dr. Phil show, and she was online cursing people out, calling people names, and she was deleting stuff. A friend of mine that I work with said, yeah, she was online deleting stuff. But guess what? I got all the screenshots.
yeah. She didn't get away. Because we got. I know I got like 2 or 3.
Tons.
Yeah. And I think you got more. Yeah.
A lot. She ran off of there real quick. Talking about she was ambushed. She was not no ambush. She lied. That's another lie right there. Talking about this was attack Laura Day. She was not attacked. She was not ambushed. Every situation she put herself in, and if she don't get what she want, she turns herself into a victim. She turns herself into a victim because that's what she was trying to do on the Dr.
Mhm.
Phil show when she got off. She ran up out of there mad and got straight online and tried to make us look like we victimized her. And this stuff is being recorded. We're in a live audience sitting there recorded. None of that happened. None of that happened. She straight lied. What her problem was is that she was mad that we was given the opportunity to speak about what happened.
Yeah.
That's what the problem was. She didn't
Exactly.
want us talking. She didn't want none of us speaking at all. So she
And
just sitting there like I'm coming back with a vengeance. And she did too, because she made up a lot of stuff. I mean, the stuff that she said on Murder Unscripted, I don't know even know how those podcasters sat up there like that and listen to that stuff without verifying, because us going to visit him can be investigated. It can be investigated, which is a lie. Us taking any money from her can be investigated. It's a lie. Us not being free and will never be free, that's a lie. It's a lot of stuff that she said up there. The story she told about you, it's a
mhm,
lie. The story she told about Marcus and Lakeisha, it's a lie. She made it all up. She made it up. And then she want to say that, oh, dad, he takes stories and he twists them. Both of them are each other's twin brother. Both of them. They just alike.
exactly
Both of
alike.
them. Growing up, the stuff that him and her was doing, they did the same thing to each other. Match made in heaven, both of them.
Yeah, I know. Today I had called you, and before we was going to start the show, and I was telling you I was
Mm-hmm.
reading through that article link that you sent me, and we were going to talk about it, but we'll do that another time, like we discussed.
Yeah, because it's a
As I
lot.
was, yeah, it is. It's a lot. And as I was reading it, and I got
Mm-hmm.
down to the part that was talking about Laura, they started talking about her being in this garage and stuff. I'm like, they like to sensationalize stories by using the word garage. And when you hear the word garage, you're thinking about car, maybe lawnmower, paint, boxes, and all this stuff. Then with her saying on a whole bunch of podcasts and show stuff that I was in the garage at, stuff here, and then I was laying on a little small mat and all this crazy stuff that she's saying. Once again, I'm gonna say it's very clear. The garage wasn't a garage because it was converted into a room.
It was a
So
room.
it was a
It
room. It
wasn't
was
a
not.
garage.
It wasn't a garage. And we have pictures that like that picture in the backdrop with Dad sitting, and like I said, I edit everything out. He's actually sitting on the bed in her room with
Mm-hmm.
Taslima. So my thing, and it was real. I seen the picture, and it's a nice size room and a nice size bed. My thing is this: when they say garage, that triggers people, the public, to make them think. Because when you think of a garage, those are things you think about: boxes, this old over here, maybe bugs and stuff. Dark, cold, damp, depending on the weather outside. That's not the case. She was in a room. You know what I'm saying? In a room. So that's what, when I just reading some of it, I just got so triggered because I'm like, I'm so sick of this garage stuff. So
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it was. A room, not a
it
garage.
was a room.
Not a
So but
garage. And I don't know why she don't tell people that.
yeah,
Because my thing is, here's another thing I'm just realizing right now. If everything was okay for 4 years and she wasn't with dad for 4 years, if everything was okay for 4 years and then after 6 months he threw you in the garage, what room was you in before he threw you in the garage?
yeah, you're right.
That's my thing. He
If,
waited
if, if
6 months, 4 years, and he waited 6 months and threw you in the garage. Why he ain't throw you in the garage before that? We lived in many of places where it was a garage. We lived in her place. She had a garage, and they put us in her garage, and she was out there while we
yeah,
was in the garage, and she closed the door back while we was in there. I thought when I met her, I just thought that she was gonna be a nice lady and all of that,
mm,
but she snapped. She just snapped. I'm telling you, she all of a sudden just snapped, and she kept on snapping. Every chance she got, Ginger snaps.
she snapping. But
She got
that,
the
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like she said that he threw her in the garage. Like you said,
don't.
if this the case, where was you at before? If
Yeah,
this the case, but we know it's not. But if this the case, What was you at before?
Well, just like she brought people along and she's said that this didn't happen, this happened, that didn't happen, this happened. There's a lot of people that we're going to be bringing along with us, but we're not going to be just speaking from our mouths. We bring out all evidence and facts, things that she think that we're not privy to, and things
Yeah.
that she think that we don't have, that
Mm-hmm.
we have. That's the thing about paperwork. There's a paper trail of stuff. And I'm saying all the paperwork and stuff that we have and stuff like that, that stuff don't lie. That stuff don't lie. That's why when we was asking the guy yesterday, me and you was
Yeah.
on the call
We
with
was we was on a we was on a
individual.
call with this guy from Top TV and they're on YouTube, but we're not gonna
Yeah,
mention his name. But we spoke
no,
with him. Crystal called them, and we spoke with him. It was a very interesting conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy was really, I can tell you this, he was really understanding. He was
Hmm.
apologetic. He listened to us, and he did say he was going to do his research. He
Yeah.
did say that, and I can respect that, you know. But there was things that we asked him that he didn't know. There was things that was said to us and things that we saw on that podcast that don't exist. That was just made up.
Yeah.
And so I was shocked speaking to him that things that we was telling him that he didn't know.
He didn't know
That's
we
what
was
really shocked.
on. He didn't
Like
know that y'all was on the
example,
Dr. Phil show. He didn't know that at all.
yeah, he didn't know we was on Dr. Phil's show and that she was up there with us. He didn't know that there was a letter.
Yep.
And he didn't know because like when you watch the movie, like he stated, you watch the movie and then the movie, she's telling the story of what happened on all these news stations and interviews and like that. But when you watch the movie is a movie about kidnapping.
Yeah. Technically, yeah,
It's not
really,
a
it
movie.
is.
It's not a movie about a lot of abuse, and it wasn't told exactly the way it should have been told. It was filled with nothing but lies because the man is not in prison for holding her hostage and kidnapping her. He's not in there for that. There's no such record of a kidnap. And she wasn't honest with this reporter about how long she knew dad and how their relationship came about. She lied. She just said that he came in the store and said, "I'm your husband's friend. Let's go."
Yeah, yeah.
And
She
you
did
just
tell that
went,
reporter that because you said that report you spoke with. She said that he came in the store and said, "Just come with me."
yeah.
It's like what? And you just went and you in your own store.
She makes sure she's really good with making sure that she leaves the things out. And like Nikosi said a few minutes ago, if you're gonna tell it all. And
Hmm.
that's what you gotta do. You gotta tell it all. You don't want to leave nothing out. And for me, I'm not leaving nothing out at all. I'm not leaving nothing out.
Mm.
So I'm just saying she's very smart when it comes to asking her a question. When I look at interviews, I don't see any questions that she's answered. These people are asking her a question, and she said, "Oh well, no, well, that was after I had the baby."
So where was
That's
you at?
not what
Like,
they
not,
ask. They'll ask her a
yep.
question and she don't answer. She'll say that's after I had the baby. Or they'll ask her a question about how did he starve you. She said the kids they would get up in the middle of the night and go in the refrigerator. They didn't ask you about us. And she just sits up there and she loves it. She just rants on
Mm.
about it.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
just
want you
like,
to, and I want you to break down the change because you said you zoomed in on it, and
okay,
'cause
the chain. So this is another lie. You know, when the public look at that chain, okay, there was only one chain, and that was a chain on the refrigerator, and it
Hmm.
was one on the glass lock in the house, the back glass door. That was in the house to keep kids from going to the refrigerator and to keep us from going out that glass door. Okay. So when you look at the chain, there's a long chain laying on top of a box in the courtroom. And so I kept looking at it because I saw a red tag on it. So when I zoomed in to look at the picture, that's when I saw the case number on it. I was like, somebody gave her those pictures.
Mm.
Somebody took it's one chain. They only got one chain with three locks hanging on it because that's what they removed out of the house. That's what was in there. Somebody sent her a picture of that because that was in looked like in the evidence room or possibly in the courtroom. And so when I zoomed in, that's when I saw the whole box, the
Mm.
courtroom box, and I saw Dad's name on it and the case number. And I was like, somebody sent that. Even when you look at all those pictures that she's posted of all of our siblings, when you look at the pictures, those are not the original pictures, like the original son. It's like those are not the original pictures. It's a piece of paper that somebody like printed of the picture and sent it to her. The picture itself, it was a Polaroid picture, and I seen it because it had each person's name at the bottom of it, the age and their weight. Because when we was going through our physicals, Dr. Claire Sheridan and the nurse was in the room, and they had us in a gown, had us stand in front of a door, and they took pictures with a Polaroid camera of us. So a lot of that stuff she got, somebody gave it to her. I don't know how she got it. I just don't know. And a lot of these networks, they got excuses that, oh, we was able to get them because, you know, we're a news station and all that. Nobody releases abuse pictures of children. Those are minors to news stations.
Yeah.
They don't do that. There's laws that protect people from that. So I'm just telling you, I just look at every time I look at things that she posts, I said, this is nothing but sabotage, man. All this stuff that she's doing, sabotaging people. And so I'm just like at a point, like I said, going through this whole situation, I'm just like at the point I used to have a lot of tears for it, but I ain't got no more tears for it. I can't even squeeze one out. I'm just like, it's about fighting now.
Yeah, that's what we're
You know,
doing, So we're
that's what
going
it's
around
about.
calling
That,
on
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
we're doing the right thing. We're getting on the phone when we see things that's not right, and we're calling and we're telling the truth about it and we're asking questions. That's what we're doing. People need to know the truth about it, and that's just what it is. So I'm on a continuous journey to continue to keep doing that.
But like we said, stuff is being done. People may not know, but there's a lot of stuff that's being done, but we can't talk about. But
Yep. That's why I was letting God know it's a lot of stuff. So just won't speak about it. But, I'm just saying, you know, like we said, do your research, and that's what it's about.
yeah, and and,
Doing
and like the media can make anything look a certain way. They got PR people. They got all types of media people. They can do all types of things and make a story look a certain way. Um,
mm-hmm.
and that's how the guy came at us because he didn't know. He was like, "Well, this is on CNN. They said this. She said this, that." But when we was breaking things down to him, yeah, where are these people talking? I ain't trying to put that up.
You right about that. So my thing is today, I'm looking at if anyone have any comments or anything, and they want to ask any questions or anything, just feel free to ask us. You know,
Mm.
was that a comment?
I guess they meant to say getting a raise in salary. But
True.
anyway,
I agree.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree. Yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty much what everybody that was in the case that was dealing with us cared about, getting a higher raise,
yeah.
being recognized. Like we some type of OJ Simpson trial. Like they getting book deals. That's how they looked at us.
Yeah,
Like we
and
was they
that's what Laura's
payday.
trying. And that's what
Like,
Laura's
hey,
trying to do. She's trying,
yeah,
and she's trying to get a book deal, but like I said,
yeah.
that's not.
I'm pretty sure they all have talked behind the scenes because things I've seen about those people. It's just like, yeah, we trying to just what that individual just made a comment on. That's exactly. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and a
That's
lot of them did
exactly.
get, and a lot of them did get promoted and things of that
Yeah, he
nature.
did. He became a
A lot.
lieutenant.
Yeah,
He did. He became a lieutenant after that. And shame on him. Shame on him. That's why I said if you're gonna I mean, I know there's a lot of professions out there and stuff, but I've actually been around people that really care. I'm not gonna say everybody in this case didn't care because that's not the case. I could name, but I don't want to use their names. I could
hmm,
name a lot of people that really cared. And this is one advocate that was in this case. Actually, a few of them. And then two of the DAs. I could tell you, they really cared. Mom's attorney really cared, really cared. And the person that just messaged that made a comment. That's just exactly what they was doing. I mean,
yeah.
Julie Baldwin, she done moved on, got her own practice.
Practice, yeah.
Detective Zirko, he became a lieutenant. So, and Laura, she's sitting up there done made a whole public profile of herself as a public figure. And she's still rolling. She's trying to write books. She's trying to do whatever she can off of all of us. That's what she's trying to do. They act like this stuff is a joke and that it's a laughing matter playing around with people's lives like that.
You
That's
know,
what they act
like I always state, they just was hoping that none of us would come out and talk about this
Yeah.
because it was,
They was
they've been
probably
doing
thinking,
this
hey,
for,
they black. They're a black
yeah,
family. They black. They ain't gonna say nothing.
yeah, and they've been doing over 20 years. They said, well, they're not gonna come out and say anything, but hey, look at it
Not no
now
more.
because yeah,
Not no more. They won't be
yeah.
able to do it.
Like we said, I'm gonna keep saying the movie triggered us, and it was like, okay, you've gone too far. You know, you didn't stop with Dr. Phil. Okay, this is what we're gonna do now. And we social media got on platform, and I said we're gonna do this, and we just been rolling since. So everybody out there, go and watch all our videos and really study them and look at them. You'll see, as we progress and move forward and start bringing out more information. Some information you may say we heard it before, but keep listening to it because there's little jewels and pieces in each one of them that
Mm-hmm.
connect everything together.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So I'm just like, just keep like Richard said, keep looking at the channel and subscribe, follow us because every week we got something new
hmm,
and just support us.
yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we it's every week, and we're gonna get back to doing like other videos. It's that me and Crystal we be so busy researching stuff,
Yeah.
and then on weekends we try to relax. And we still, but we're gonna get back to like I said, we have to do that diary. We're gonna have to one day. Me and you instead of doing a live, we're just gonna do a regular video.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably two on your diary, and then also for the appeal, that's going to be two. So we have some videos. It's a lot because we read so much and research this,
Yeah, and
and we got
then we also, dissecting, you know, cards, all
hmm,
the memories and stuff that we have, things,
yeah,
birthday cards that we wrote for mom and dad, stuff we did with Miriam as kids. I
Yeah,
got
you
all
spoke
that
about
stuff,
that. Yep.
a
And
bunch of stuff.
it's
That's what I
some
just said. That side that she's portraying that happened in the home, I didn't see that side at all. At all. Not even an inkling. I didn't see.
mm,
I just saw a woman that was bossy and controlling, went whenever she went, whenever she wanted to, and just got whatever she wanted. And it seemed like that she was the most important thing in the house. None of the kids was important, nor was the other two women in the house important. It just seemed like she was the most important thing in the house. Like anything she did, dad went running.
mm,
Anything, he went running. And so I'm just like, it's okay, you know, because all of us, we doing a good job at what we're doing. So
mhm.
it's moving
Yeah, y'all
along.
keep yeah, y'all keep following us. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and ask questions, leave comment, all types of stuff, and we'll get to them, and we'll add it in within some of the videos and stuff. But
Hmm.
everyone have a blessed day and a blessed night, and we'll be back.
Good night.